Oh dear God, GokaiOrange is reviewing something. Everyone run for the hills. Okay, don't actually. Because what I'm reviewing you might have seen recently on my channel, and something I've talked about before on Marcos's live streams. Something I love bringing up just to annoy Zoni. But before I reveal the painfully obvious, a little backstory. For those who don't remember, or were born later, for a time in the 90s, a growing fad was beginning to show up in the world of video games. With CDs slowly becoming the norm for storing games, companies began tapping into their storage capabilities with live-action video clips. Some might just be for cutscenes, while others might be done entirely in this fashion. This would soon give rise to FMV games. FMV would dominate most of the mid-90s with games like Phantasmagoria, its sequel A Puzzle of Flesh, The Seventh Guest, Harvester, Wing Commander 3, Night Trap, Police Quest SWAT, Gabriel Knight 2, The Beast Within, and... Wait, is that Miss Appleby?
He's so masculine and so handsome and, well, sexy.
Holy shit. But there was one trend among these games that you might not have noticed at first, but it's quite apparent. How many of these games could be marketed to kids? Okay, maybe Wing Commander 3, but what else? Most of these games are in the horror genre, with scenes like this, and this. Something a kid probably wouldn't want to play or even see, especially when one of these games was indirectly responsible for the ESRB. Well, one company set out to fix this little problem with the then-trending FMV market. Create a game similar to Phantasmagoria or Wing Commander 3, and market it solely towards kids. Now, what can we base this game off of? How about the story of the Pied Piper? Sure, why not? It's not like the story has a rather dark ending or something. Now, we can't just have a straightforward adaptation. We need to set it in a different time period. Space? Nah, Space Quest has got that market down. Modern day? No, that'd be dumb. Wild West? Sure, Freddy Farkas made Western adventure games popular. Okay, but now we need a hook. The main reason to sell this game to kids. What actor is popular with the kids right now? He'll do. Piper, released in 1996 by Splash Studios, was an attempt at making a child-friendly FMV game. It backfired. Horribly. Like, only me, Marcos's Discord server, and a few YouTubers are aware of its existence online. Hell, I came across the game accidentally when I was looking for episodes of Sweet Valley High that Jason appeared in. Don't ask.
A video-active adventure, starring Jason David Frank.
The game quote-unquote opens on a campfire out in the middle of the desert, where we are introduced to Wild West cliché number 1, the old man narrator.
Out here, folks tend to shoot first and ask questions later.
The motto of the NRA. Old Man McGucket here tells us all about the various beasts that roam these parts, but none are more vicious than the rats as big as timber wolves. We then cut to said rats and... just watch.
So, what do we do next, Mephisto? I gotta bust something up real quick.
Please, boss. Before he starts busting up me.
Easy, Dante. Relax, Irving.
Man, Jim Henson's Creature Shop took a sharp decline after Henson passed away. The rats, known as Mephisto, Dante, and Irving, are planning on attacking the nearby mining town of Midas Valley, where legends tell of a lost cavern full of gold in the nearby mine. Get it? Midas Valley? Gold? King Midas? The Golden Touch? Hey, you got your Greek myth and my German folktale. We arrive in said Midas Valley the following morning, which can only be described as the town with no name but with better graphics. We are then introduced to the mayor of Midas Valley, Discount Nathan Lane.
Things, it's things that I adore.
Oh, did I forget to mention this is a musical? We're only 4.5 minutes into this thing, and the bartender is the most relatable character right now. Basically, Mayor Nathan Lane is a Western version of Wario. He's fat, greedy, and wants to own everything. The only problem, for him at least, is finding the lost gold for himself since his father knew the location, but never told him before he dropped dead. As you do. As it turns out, Midas Valley isn't really on the up and up. The town has fallen into disrepair, bills are racking up, and with only one small bag of gold left, the town's future looks grim. One of the buildings in town, Wild West cliché number 2, the Orphanage, is being hit the most. As with low funds, the poor, poor orphans will starve, and oh, the humanity! The Orphanage is run by a schoolmarm named Cassie, I wish, and only has 3 orphans, Alice, Buster, and Jody. But I'm probably going to forget their names, so I'm just going to call them Girl, Hattie McHatterson, and Dennis the Menace. Seriously, what kid has a 90s bowl cut in what's supposed to be the middle of the gold rush? After a bit of roughhousing from Dennis and Hattie, we get our first quote-unquote puzzle of the game. We're almost 7 minutes into this, and this is the first real gameplay we've gotten so far. Sure, you could click on some hot points, humongous entertainment style here and there, but this is the first time the game remembers that, oh yeah, it's a game! So yeah, first puzzle of the game. Literally. Repair the floor as if it were a jigsaw puzzle. Look at that, it even gives an outline as to where each piece goes. Where's the fun in that? If you're gonna have a jigsaw puzzle, make it challenging at least. I know this is meant for kids, but even kids aren't that dumb. So after the easiest repair job ever, Cassie and the kids get a visit from Mayor Nathan Lane, who plans on shutting the orphanage down. This looks like a job for the Three Stooges! I wish the Stooges were in this.
I'm shutting it down.
Shutting it down? But what about the children?
Now, Miss Cassie.
Easy! Just adopt them. Case closed. Mayor Nathan Lane gives them a week to come up with the money, or he shuts the orphanage down and moves the kids elsewhere. Naturally, Hattie and Dennis suggest looking for the lost gold in order to pay, but Cassie, ever the prude, forbids them from going near the mines. After a song sung by Cassie, which basically equates to, "I'm gonna get shit done,"
I'm gonna make a difference. I'll show I am strong.
we are then introduced to Wheeler, the town's blacksmith, aka her boyfriend.
Midas is shutting us down.
Well, we'll have to figure out something to help those poor kids.
Just adopt them. How hard is that? Wheeler wants the two of them to leave Midas Valley and settle down in San Francisco, leaving the kids behind for some reason. Apparently, taking the kids with them isn't something either of them have thought of, because plot. But enough of that, it's time for the reason you guys clicked on this video. The rats begin to invade Midas Valley in the most comedic way possible, showing up in unusual places. And then he arrives. First off, what is that outfit? He looks like
Willy Wonka.
Thanks, Iggy. Second, this is the look that says, "The things I do for a paycheck." Piper arrives at the orphanage.
Would you look at this? The local schoolhouse.
Sir, this is an orphanage. Big difference. After introducing himself in the most foppish manner possible, he claims he has come to rid the town of the rats, much like the original folktale.
You see, sometimes all you need to do is try a little magic.
He pulled a flower from behind my ear? Burn the witch! Wait, what do you mean we don't do that anymore? Piper decides to show off to Girl.
That's, Alice. She's been through some pretty rough times.
that's okay. I've been through some pretty rough times myself.
Game, you forced me to play this clip. You only brought it upon yourself.
What's going on?
Tommy! I have chosen you! Arise, my Green Ranger!
How can I serve my Empress?
Now go sit in the corner until you learn the art of subtlety. And this leads into the next minigame, Fucking Simon! Look, I know you spent half your budget on Jason David Frank, but could you at least put a little more effort into these minigames? That's not any better, but at this point I'm not surprised. After showing off some more, Dennis suggests that maybe Piper could help them find the lost gold and save the orphanage. But not before Mephisto and company make their presence known. One round of Whack-A-Rat later, Piper gives his farewell, impressing the kids as well as winning over Cassie. Later that night, however...
Hey, I try to warn you. That school marm is one tough customer.
Well, you did not have to hit it so hard.
Those blows really hurt.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys, but I had to make it look real.
Oh no, Piper was in cahoots with the rats this whole time? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've seen this version of the story before. So, Piper and the rats are all a bunch of cons. $5 says this won't last. McGucket repeats what I just said, and we cut to Chapter 2. Yeah, I kind of forgot to mention this, but this game comes in chapters. This is an FMV game, goddammit, and we're gonna make it seem longer than it actually is. The next day rolls around, and the rat sightings are becoming much more frequent, not to mention much more cartoonish.
Hey, Gus, have another one. A rat! In my saloon! Oh my God! Don't get it! Oh, look at it! Comes pumpkin! Look out!
Nice to know Splash Studios got the best community theater actors they could find. Naturally, the rest of the Midas Valley citizens aren't too happy about this current situation and go after Mayor Nathan Lane, who's about as helpful as this guy. All hope seems lost until Piper shows up again.
Oh, and I'll tell you what you really need. What this town really needs is a Piper.
Okay, can you please not whisper like that? Of all the things to hear from this game, Jason David Frank doing unintentional ASMR isn't one of them.
I see you've got a problem.
Or this, for that matter!
I know you're infested, and you want these rats to be gone, be gone. You want all these rats to be gone.
Wait a minute, that's not JDF singing. This is JDF singing.
It's those machines, they have the means, they use the keys of tuning.
Kinda hard to believe this happened after Piper was made and not before it. Everyone seems to be on board with Piper becoming the town's, Piper. Everyone minus Wheeler, who's confused as to why everyone is this eager to support this total stranger. Sorry, unnamed bartender, but Wheeler is now the most relatable character in this thing. More banter about the orphanage, blah blah blah, just adopt the kids, yada yada yada. Ah, here we go, more discount Nathan Lane. With the last bag of gold now in Piper's possession, the urge to find the lost cavern of gold is much more urgent. After a bit of thrashing, Mayor Nathan Lane finds a clue under one of his drawers.
There's a story that's often been told of a legendary cavern of gold. Want to find that great catch? Bottle labels must match, and the mystery then will unfold.
Well, obviously that must mean it's time for a memory minigame with bottles of beer. It's not even a full shelf. Come on, developers, you can do better than this. Anyways, completing the memory game reveals... this thing?
What in tarnation? That's Coco Pelli, the flute player. And he's pointing to the fireplace.
Sure, we'll go with that. The picture points to the fireplace, which the mayor believes hides the map. But before he can get to it, however...
Midas, get over here. We got rats all over the place.
Hold on, Gus. I'm coming.
Distractions!
Oh, Mephisto, you lucky dog. This is it.
The key to the city. All the wealth. All the gold.
All the power, all the free chicken.
So now the rats have the map. Now we can figure out where the entrance to the Lost Cavern is.
According to this map, the secret passage to the Cavern of Gold begins... The Orphanage!
Of course it's the fucking Orphanage! Later that night, Piper and the rats begin to ration their gold, but tensions begin to mount.
How do I know I'm getting my fair share?
Fair share among con men. This'll go well. Finally, a little over 30 minutes into this game, and we get our first actual decent minigame. Balancing out the gold. Took them long enough, but this is where things get weird. Okay, weirder. I'm gonna play the next scene for a few seconds, and tell me if you notice a sudden shift in mood.
As usual, Mephisto, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, Mephisto, I don't trust you.
Okay, suddenly Piper doesn't trust Mephisto anymore. We go from...
As usual, Mephisto, it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
To...
Mephisto, I don't trust you.
I'm sorry, did the game skip a scene or something? Is the disc a little scratched? Well, either way, Piper's... good now? The one time I wish McGucket was here to explain what just happened. The next day, Hattie McCatterson suggests going off into the mines before Cassie gets back. But before they can sneak off, they get unexpected visitors. Irving and Dante break into the orphanage looking for the way into the cavern, with the kids hiding in the closet.
Hey, look, there's something under you. What is it? It's a trap door.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It was in the closet this entire time? You're telling me no one bothered to move that tarp covering the trap door, let alone wonder why the orphanage even had a trap door in the closet in the first place? Okay, lazy writing aside, Cassie comes back and notices the rats have taken over the orphanage, leading to probably the worst quote-unquote minigame in this entire thing. Undo the boards covering the door. All three of them. Well, you obviously don't need to undo all of them right now. Just remove the middle board and just step over the bottom one, and you're removing them all, aren't you?
There. That's the last board. Dante, she's in.
Hurry! Let's escape out the back door!
Children? Children, are you here?
Not a word about the trapdoor.
We should tell her.
No. She'd never let us go.
I can hear you, you know. Well, it looks like Mephisto is working out a deal with Mayor Nathan Lane, albeit a bit forced upon him. Okay, what does McGucket want to tell us this time?
What about them orphans? Are they really gonna go search for the lost cavern of gold all by themselves? Or are you gonna go along and keep them company?
I know this is meant for kids, but that line just kind of rubs me the wrong way as an adult. Do I need to call Chris Hansen or something? Chapter 3 kicks right off with McGucket trying to figure out the plot so far.
For that fast-talking Piper to do his stuff. Of course, folks didn't know that Piper and them rats was in cahoots. Of course, Piper didn't know them rats and Midas was in cahoots. And Cassie didn't know them orphans was fixing to find the cavern of gold on their own. And if you can follow all that, then you should be telling this story instead of me.
Look, don't heap this mess of a plot on my lap. I'm still trying to work everything out myself, thank you very much. With the showdown between Piper and the rats just minutes away, this gives the orphans a good excuse to head down the trap door. I would make an It's High Noon reference here, but that would be too easy. Everything seems to be going smoothly, at least at first.
Oh, surprise, surprise! Ooh, sorry, Piper, old chum. Life is full of little surprises.
What is this, Mephisto? What's going on?
Piper, did you forget last night? You said yourself you didn't trust them anymore. What made you think they would continue to go along with this plan?
You're completely surrounded.
With the jig apparently up, only one team can come to Piper's rescue. Oh, I wish. With Piper now ousted as a fraud, Cassie seems to be taking it well.
Why, you're nothing but a phony.
Yep, we're doing the liar reveal plotline. Here's the part where Doug Walker goes berserk. While Wheeler should be having an "I told you so" moment, he instead decides to have a musical number, not to mention fixing Piper's pipe. Wait, how did it get that busted? Mephisto just threw it on the ground. How could it be that fragile? You know, I'm not gonna lie. I kinda like this number. Yeah, it's 90s as fuck, but Wheeler's actor's not that bad a singer. Well, look at that. The kids are already down in the mines. Glad we didn't miss much from their end or anything. Also, why do you need that candle? These pre-rendered mines are pretty bright by themselves. One spelling puzzle later, and we're back with Cassie and Wheeler.
It's the children. I just checked the orphanage. I can't find them anywhere.
She just now realizes the orphans are missing, but after showing her the fixed pipe, Wheeler gets some gold of his own. Gah! God damn it, McGucket, now is not the time.
Piper, the children are missing, and we think the rats are involved.
I never thought I'd say this to you, Piper, but we need you.
Well, they sure are quick to forgive Piper, I must say. But then again, we do only have half an hour to wrap things up. Piper's not that quick to help the orphans, as he's too mopey right now.
Hey, boss, I think I see something. Come on, honey, put some back into it.
The Lost Cavern of Gold.
Okay, I'm almost certain we're skipping scenes at this point. This is the first we see of these guys down in the mines, and they immediately find the lost cavern? Kind of a letdown, if you ask me. This was a cavern thought to be lost for a very long time, and one jump cut later, boom, found. But there's no time for overanalyzing this, because Mayor Nathan Lane is getting hungry for this pre-rendered scenery.
Gold! Gold! Gold!
Okay, that's enough. Time for the kids to find the cavern. And they get immediately caught. Wonderful. We then cut back to our lovey-dovey couple as they themselves have entered the mines. They find a clue left by the orphans.
It's from the children.
But what's it mean?
They must be using the Indian Sign Language.
Okay, what? This is the first time we've even heard of this, and it just comes so far out of left field. But this Indian Sign Language is essentially telling them which paths lead to the Cavern of Gold. First off, when did the orphans find the time to make this and post all these signs all over the mines? They found the cavern pretty quickly, and they wouldn't have even been able to make the signs to tell them where to go because they got captured by the rats. Second, why bother putting it in code? Why not just tell them the direction to go? And third, my brain hurts for this puzzle alone. After another round of Whack-A-Rat, we cut back to the cavern, as we see the orphans have been put to work mining it all while our hammy mayor continues to chew the non-existent scenery and marvel at the obviously fake-looking gold. For now. Wow, okay, so he's dead. There's no beating around the bush. He's dead. Oh yeah, that's right, kids game. Wait a minute, this looks familiar. God damn it, why does this game keep forcing me to make these obvious comparisons? Okay, final chapter, 20 minutes left to go. McGucket somehow managed to find the mines as well, and continues to spout exposition I've already mentioned. The rats continue to gloat.
We rats now have it all. The gold, the town, the power...
The free chicken?
The control!
Oh dear God, the rats have their own number.
We're taking control. Yes, that's right, puny little human.
Wow, this might be the best song in this thing. Even in this game, the villains get the best song. And again, the metalhead in me is headbanging to this. After that, we then cut back to Piper, who's getting ready to leave town.
Of course, you're gonna miss all the big doings here in town.
Big doings? Here?
Scuttlebutt is that someone's finally done found that lost cavern of gold.
Okay, how did word of the Cavern of Gold being found reach the town? No one has left the mines yet. McGucket, did you start blabbing to everyone? Anyway, this gives Piper the motivation to set right what once was wrong and find the cavern himself. Back in the mines, the orphans are Wait, how did they escape from the rats? Did they sneak away from them off-screen during the musical number? Anywho, Girl is missing and Cassie goes to get her. On the way back, however... Oh shit, Mephisto's got some dynamite. Who will save them now?
Piper! You came back.
Quick, Cassie, get out of here!
You know, I just realized, despite getting Jason David Frank for this game, not once do they show off his karate skills. I'm not joking. You get an experienced martial artist, one that would go on to not only run his own karate school, but become an undefeated champion of mixed martial arts, and you don't have a fight scene scripted for him? All we get is this wimpy tug of war with a pipe, and that's about it. At least give Mephisto a roundhouse kick to the face or something.
Yeah, Mr. Winsong, how you do go on. But that's pretty brave talk for a man who's completely surrounded.
Oh, I'm not done yet, Mephisto.
Tiger Sword!
Again, if only! You know, that's not what I was hoping for, but after my little mini rant, I'll take anything at this point. Piper later finds the cavern and Mayor Nathan Lane. He reluctantly agrees to give him all the gold if Piper frees him and gets him safely out. One sound minigame later, our heroes meet up with Piper and the mayor, ready with a minecart to take them out of the mine. Mephisto, however, ain't having none of this. Armed to the teeth with explosives, they're willing to blow themselves and our heroes up, taking the mines out with them. Wow, for a kid's game, that's kinda dark. This leads to the final minigame, riding the minecart out of the mines. After running into Mephisto with the minecart, well, game over. They're dead. No way they could survive that.
I want to tell you that blast took the top of that mountain clear off.
Where's Miss Cassie and those poor orphans?
Say, wasn't our greedy mayor inside that mountain?
Okay, you've made your point. Now get on with it and just show them coming out of the mine. You mean to tell me they survived? I am not at all surprised by this one bit. And in the only scene that actually resembles the original story, we see Piper leading the orphans with his pipe music. Okay, the adults too, but hey, close enough.
Yes, sirree. I ain't never seen a strike like the one they pulled out of the mine that day. And justice sure seems to have been served in Mayor Midas's case. But you had to wonder about our other friends. I mean, sure, I'm a prospector and all, but truth be told, I've gotten kind of a soft spot for Cassie and them young'uns.
Okay, that's it. You're not allowed within 5 miles of the orphanage. Mayor Nathan Lane lives up to his promise and gives the gold to Piper, who in turn gives it to Cassie so she can fix up the orphanage.
Why, Piper, I don't know what to say.
Well, you can begin with saying thank you, and then build yourself a brand new orphanage.
Thank you, Piper. Of course, we don't really need an orphanage anymore, but we are going to need to build a pretty big house.
Do you mean?
Yes, Alice. Wheeler and I are finally getting married.
And we're adopting all 3 of you little rascals.
Well, it's about time we reached this conclusion, one that should have been over with an hour ago. So Wheeler decides to stay in Midas Valley with his new family, Mayor Midas turns over a new leaf, and Piper sets off to a little town known as Angel Grove, where he now goes by the White Stranger. This game, even after everything I've said about it, is still the best worst thing I've ever seen. Despite the game having almost little to no advertising upon release, and being almost quickly forgotten about, a lot of time and effort did go into this thing. On the CD was a behind-the-scenes featurette showing how much time, effort, and passion went into this thing. And despite all the flaws, their hearts were in the right place when making it. As far as I know, this is the only FMV game for kids of this magnitude. The pre-rendered graphics look nice for 1990 standards. The rat puppets, while not being up to snuff with the likes of the Creature Shop, aren't terribly cheap looking, and all in all, not a bad little game. It even comes with an audio CD of the game's musical numbers, which is a nice little bonus if you enjoyed them. But the major question I want to know is, was JDF's experience with this game a good one?
I know. He's got the last thing, like.
Well, at least he's open to talk about it a bit. Maybe someday he'll talk about it more at a con or something. But until then, I give this game a 6.5 out of 10. Not the best FMV game, but it sure is an entertaining one if you leave your brain at the door. This is GokaiOrange saying, I really need to get back to work on the Chessman script.
Rats! Oh, shucks! Us furry vermin's here to stay. Oh, phooey! Rats, yes, rats! You know you're gonna need us anyway. Rats! Oh, rats! Us freaky vermin wanna play. Rats! You bet your sweet patootie, rats! You know you're gonna need us anyway.